Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be doing my September Get Ready With Me using all of the products that I am talking about in September. That's a total lie. I didn't use all of the products because I have multiples, and some of them I didn't use at all because I didn't like them. But if you like this look that is on my face at the moment and want to know how I achieved it, then please just keep watching. So my base today is actually not going to be either of the base products from my September reviews. But I'm going to start with the Misha Glow Radiance Balm, and I'm just going to use that around the sort of like outer part of my face, so not on my T-zone, because my skin is a little bit dull at the moment, and that'll help just give it a little bit more shine. This pretty much feels like a moisturizer, very, very light. I just don't want to emphasize my pores, which is mostly like the center of my face, so that is why I am using it around the outside of my face only. It smells so good, like my favorite scented product right now. Then I'm going to use a concealer, which is again not part of the reviews because I have this gigantic cystic pimple. Right there. Fabulous. Thank you so much, skin. So while the rest of that is absorbing, I'm going to put some of my Pony Effect concealer. This is the Cover Up Pro Concealer in the shade Fair. I'm just going to dot that on with my finger there. I always get cystic acne on my cheeks. It's so unfortunate. Like, they never really pop up anywhere else but my cheeks, and they really scar, so it sucks, but what are you gonna do? I'm also gonna put some on this little cluster of pimples, scars that I've got down here. And I'm just applying this really roughly because of course it's going underneath the foundation. And on my upper lip scar that never seems to go away. I forgot to bring my beauty blender, I'll be right back. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Holika Holika Hardcover Glow Foundation in the shade number 1, which I think is called Warm Ivory. I'm not going to use either of the two foundations that I'm reviewing in September because the first one that I'm reviewing is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, and it's not the right colour, and it's going to make me look like a ghost, and I'm going to get a lot of comments on it, and I don't want to, so I'm not going to use it. The other one is the 3W BB Cream, and a BB Cream isn't really suitable for doing reviews and swatches, so it's just not full coverage enough, even though I'm wearing concealer. So instead, we're going to be using this Holika Holika foundation, and I'm going to be using my beauty blender because most of my cushion puffs are dirty, for the most part. And I do actually still enjoy using my beauty blender. I just don't use it as much because I keep forgetting to go and wet it, and it annoys me to have to leave my room to go and do that. So that's basically the reason as to why I don't use a beauty blender as much as I use a cushion puff, because I can use the cushion puffs while they dry. That is basically it. Alright, that concealer is not doing the most amazing job on that one cystic acne because it's so red. So I'm going to put a little bit more over top of the foundation. See if you can just cancel that out a little bit more. It is going to look pretty chunky in real life, but I think on camera you won't see it, so therefore that's pretty much all I'm doing today. I think I'm going to go out grocery shopping, but that's pretty much it. So I'm going to fully load that up more so than I normally would do in real life because I don't have to do cheek swatches today, which is really nice. Oh my god, I've got so little left of this powder that I just cannot get it to come out of the sifter top. It's so annoying. I'm actually going to use this beauty blender and try and bake over the top of that concealer, but there's really not enough powder that I'm picking up. But at least the pressing motion will help press the concealer in rather than using a brush. That's a totally different colour to the rest of my face. Oh well. So then I'm going to use a big powder brush now that I've gotten at least some of the powder out of there, and I'm going to use that to set the rest of my face. So now that we've got the base on, I'm going to be doing the brows and eyeshadow. So I will zoom you in. I wonder if you can see how much like darker this concealer looks in comparison to the rest of my face, but if you can, I'm sorry. If you can't, then that's great. So for brows, I'm actually going to use a combination of two products. The first one I'm going to use is the Misha Twin Brow Kit. Now this one I'm obviously reviewing, and I have been using the lighter shade here. However, the lighter shade is still too light, so I'm only going to be using this in the front part of my brow because that makes it easier to sort of blend in with the rest of my brow, and then at the end I'm going to be using my good old Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade just to make my eyebrows look really nice and neat. I'm actually going to use the same brush to use my dip brow pomade. This is the Zoeva Brow Line brush 322, which is the same brush as what I usually use. So I just pick up some of the pomade with the brush and then dot it into the cap so that it's not chunky. And I'm going to use that to do the outer part of my brow. I feel like this brow is like really round at the end, but it'll do. The next thing I'm going to be doing is eyeshadow. So I have got two Peta palettes to show you guys this time. One is the rose kind of colour, it's that one there, and then the other one is a peach colour. I definitely prefer the rose coloured one, so that's the one I'm going to use today. Because it's a quad, there really isn't a huge amount of stuff that I can, like a huge amount of looks that I can do with this. So I'm going to use this colour in the crease, this colour on the inner half of the lid, and then this colour on a little bit of the outer half. I'm not going to use this colour at all because I tried it as a base before and it doesn't really do anything for me, like it doesn't really work that well, so I'm just going to skip using it entirely and only use the other three colours. I could use it on my brow bone if I wanted to, but it would just be kind of including it for the sake of including it, and I don't feel like that's really very necessary. So I actually quite enjoy using these little eyeshadow palettes. They're very small, they're very compact. I do wish that they had a mirror in the top because it would make it a lot easier for me to use. But in general, if you're just if you're just using the same sort of shadows and the same sort of look week in, week out, then I think that they're actually quite good. Or like if I was traveling, I wouldn't mind taking along this little rosy coloured palette because it is very easy to use and it's very sort of like an everyday thing. It's strange that it doesn't look as like rosy as you'd think. Like it's almost a bit more peachy, this crease colour. So I am going to bring some of that into my lower lash line as well, which I'll have to duck my head down to do. Otherwise I will manage to get it in my eyeballs. So then I'm going to take the sparkly colour with a flat shader brush. This one is again from Zoeva. It is the Luxe Smoky Shader in 234, and I'm going to apply that to the inner part of my eye, definitely going over to like, maybe 3/4 of my eyelid. I put that way too high into my crease, but that's fine. And I also put some in the inner corner as well. And then I'm going to use the same flat shader brush to pick up some of that dark brown and just place it into the outer third of my eye. And then I'm going to use a blending brush to blend it. So I'm just, oh, I got glitter in my eye, ow. So I'm just very lightly tapping and pressing that darker shadow on, which is working okay without the blending brush today. And then I'm also going to bring some into the outer corner as well. Sorry, I'm in the lower lash line. And then using that same blending brush, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a blend. Honestly, I feel like it doesn't really need it though. They're quite easy to use these shadows, which is very, very nice from Peta. And that is it for this look. So that's what I can do with the little rose palette. Now I'm going to apply my liquid liner, which is the Dolly Wink liquid liner, and my mascara, which is the NARS Climax mascara. So that is what the eyes are looking like with the mascara and the eyeliner on. For cheeks, I'm going to be using some of the Becca Last blushes. My two favourite blushes are number 3 and 4, so I'm going to use number 3, which is the more pink of the two, and then I'm going to attempt to do some light contouring with number 8, which is Peanut Blossom. We will see how that goes. So these blushes are really nice and pigmented. I feel like you don't need to use very much at all to get a really nice look for your cheeks. Like that was pretty much me done with like one layer. And they are just like, I really like the packaging of these because it's so small. I mean, I wish it was pink, but you can't have everything you wish for. And for me at the moment, because I have so much stuff, I kind of need it to be smaller rather than pinker. That is the priority at the moment. So that is the number 3 color, and then I'm going to attempt to use Peanut Blossom. I don't know how that's going to work with having this large cystic acne there, because it's going to be like right in the way, and I don't want to blend all of that concealer off because that would be very annoying. So I'm just going to work really, really lightly, and I'm doing the upper part of my forehead as well, just to make it look a little bit more like round. And let's do a bit of the jawline as well. Technically put some down my nose too. I don't know if that made any difference whatsoever. And then to just make sure that it's all really blended, I'm going to use my big powder brush to just make sure that there are no harsh lines or anything like that. Especially with the blush, because the blush is very pigmented. Moderate success. So I feel like I got a little bit of shading there, but not enough to get rid of the concealer there, which was the goal. Then for lips, I'm going to be using the Innisfree Cotton Ink Blur. So these ones are not the same as the Cotton Vivid inks that I had before, but they're more like a blur type of tint, which is very interesting. So I'm going to do a baby gradient. I'm going to use number 3 all over my lips, and then I'm going to find a darker colour to put in the centre. So you can use your finger if you want a really, really blurred look, so you can get a really, really pale colour. They're actually really, really lovely products. I was kind of surprised by how much I like them. So that is going to be the light all over colour. And then let's use number 4, which is a sort of berry-ish red. I'm going to put that in the middle. And then you get a sort of look that looks like this. I think it's definitely easy to see closer up, so I will zoom you in just a second. But overall, this is the look that I'm going to be wearing today. I feel like I look very pale because I've got a black turtleneck on at the moment, which I'm not sure if I'm going to keep because I feel like it's just a little bit too much. But I really like the way that this one turned out. I feel like the Petty Petter shadows are really pretty, but for something that's supposed to be like a rose palette, it doesn't really look the most pink. I adore the Bare blushes as well as the Innisfree tint. I think that those are both really great products for me. And the brows are kind of not the best. So thank you guys so much for watching this video today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!